Today we are out in California with MotorTrend during their Car of the Year testing. It's so cool getting to see which cars they have out here testing, how they're testing them, the different criteria, and they have graciously allowed me to try out some of the cars, starting with this one, the all-new generation of the BMW M2. Now, I haven't had a chance to drive the newest M2 yet, so it's quite exciting for me to get to take it for a drive, my first impressions, first review of the new 2023 M2, especially here on the proving grounds with all the different driving tests that we have. Starting with the powertrain, M2 still has a 3-liter turbocharged inline 6. It's related to the one found in the BMW M3 and M4, but in this car it makes 453 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels via either an automatic transmission or, like this one is equipped, a 6-speed manual. 0 to 60 in just under 4 seconds, but for me, what I'm most interested in learning is how it handles, how it drives, how it performs on the road course, especially compared to the outgoing generation with the M2 CS, because the M2 CS is one of my favorite driving M cars of all time. With that, let's check out the exterior, we'll do a walk around, then we'll hop inside, talk about the interior, and take it for a drive. Let's take a look at the exterior styling on this M2, finished in Zandvoort blue, which is a really cool light baby blue color. When this gen of the M2 first came out, it was a little controversial. I admit I didn't love it, but it's grown on me in a very aggressive, boxy way. You can see up front, very square intakes down here, mixed with some curves. We have reasonable sized kidney grills, thank you. Updated BMW logo there, the M2 badge, full LED lighting up front. We have the 19-inch wheels, and look at how much the front fenders flare out, and it really drops in pretty aggressively here to the door with a side skirt here that again flares out, continuing to that very flared out wheel arch on the rear wheels there too. We have flush door handles that can open like this, frameless doors around those windows. We have a full carbon fiber roof here. And then coming around to the back, more square boxy elements. Look at the side of that rear bumper. The taillights also kind of flow right into this vertical piece here. Quad exhaust tips, blacked out with the Shadowline package. Simple M2 badge back there too. It's not the prettiest, I think, but it's got this really interesting mix of boxy aggression for this little 2-door coupe. With that, let's hop inside, take it for a drive. All right, let's take the M2 for a drive. We're out here on the oval, which means we can do 120 miles an hour here in the left lane, 90 and 60. Let's drop into the middle lane, slow down a bit, and talk about the interior. My first impression when I got into the M2 with the interior is a lot of new technology, right? We have this virtual screen going across the middle from your cluster in the middle to the infotainment screen. Very large, very nice graphics, very, very clear. The rest of the interior also has some parts that are quite familiar, from the carbon bucket seats, which are in like the M5 CS. They hold you in very, very well. They do have quite aggressive side bolsters here. You see the visual carbon fiber. They're great for keeping you in place, but over a longer period of time, I have experienced them being a little uncomfortable, but in a performance sports car, they are definitely really cool. On the steering wheel, we have those M1 and M2 buttons here in red for mapping your drive modes. Manual shifter here in the middle. You can see on the main screen here, I've pulled up my various drive modes. From the engine, I'm in sport, gear shift assistant on, chassis sport, steering sport, brake sport. You can configure all those, your traction control, the different settings. The gear shift assistant is the rev match downshifts, 4th, 3rd. This thing pulls very strongly, and I can just cruise here at 120 miles an hour, and it feels so planted and smooth. I wonder if BMW's tweaked their manual transmission in this car too. I remember historically, I haven't loved the BMW manual transmissions. They always felt a little more numb for me, even in the M cars. But in this one here, it's been It's pretty good. Pretty good. It definitely feels a bit more manageable sized compared to the M3 and M4. Obviously compared to something like the M5 CS. M5 CS is a whole other animal in terms of the performance. That four-door sedan is an absolute rocket ship. Familiar twin-turbo inline 6 here. I will say this interior is quite nice. Lots of carbon fiber, leather, the M carbon bucket seats here, and the typical M accents, right? The little M logo here in the steering wheel. The door inserts have this really cool little abstract, the M colored angled lines there with the blue and the red. The stitching on the seat belts too. And with that, we're gonna come off the oval. Blue M2 coming off oval. And we're gonna go do one lap on the winding course, which is a little like handling course, and then we'll loop back, conclude our thoughts. Lots of torque. Nice clutch feel, pedal placement is pretty good. BMWs do typically have larger steering wheels, like nice girthy M steering wheels here, trimmed in leather. It's riding pretty comfortably. I even have everything in the Sportier mode. But with that, let's go into M1, see what this is set for. All right, let's go do a lap and see what this is like. So we've got this like handling course here, which we could follow the lane lines, or we can just kind of go how we want. Now I haven't driven on this yet, so I'm still figuring out where everything is. I believe up this hill is into a blind right-hander. When you go into the different performance modes too, your cluster changes in appearance. I literally have no idea where this track is going right now. Later on, once I drive it a bit more, I think I'll know it better. Oncoming traffic, go this way. So I think the only new generation M3 and M4s that I've driven have been xDrive, which obviously is going to be a different feel from rear-wheel drive. They are stupendously capable and quick, but so is this thing. Steering is pretty good. Man, oh, there goes my backpack in the back seat. Loading up through those turns. It seems the rev matching isn't giving the blip until I start letting it out. I need to like, everything is flying around in the back. I'm gonna drop my backpack off next time before I come out here. This thing will be a lot of fun in the canyons. Having that torquey turbo inline 6 lets you just power out of the corners. It's a more manageable size. It does feel bigger than the M2 CS, not quite as nimble, but the M2 CS was also a CS model, so they did a lot more to orient that for track and performance driving. In terms of value, this one's optioned to $75,000, which I think is actually a pretty good value. The performance, the tech, some creature comforts in here, it's a good balance of it. It looks very aggressive. Styling is obviously going to be very personal decision, right? Some people love it, some people are going to hate it. Some people love the way the G80 M3 looks up front. I still can't handle that front end, so I think I would take this over the M3 as a rear-wheel drive, a bit smaller platform. I think I would take this over the M4. I think this is a better manual than I'm used to. I don't mind it. Usually, I've been not a huge fan of the BMW manual transmissions. Very torquey inline 6. Cross shop this against something, maybe like a Corvette Stingray, Toyota Supra. What else is in this segment here? Audi's not, I mean, RS3. There's a lot of different formulas to a, call it between $60,000 to $80,000 two-door little sports performance car. And a new M2 first impressions. I like it. I like it. It has met and exceeded my initial expectations. Definitely a fun time testing it out here. Thank you again to MotorTrend for inviting me here, seeing what their car of the year testing is like. We see a bunch of cars all right here. I'm gonna go hop in something else now, but this is my first initial impressions, quick review of the new generation BMW M2. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.